Alright, so today I'll be painting the Guntank. In my previous video, I did build the Guntank, and it came out very nice. But I went ahead and I primed it with a matte finish, the clear matte finish, and it even made the glass piece, or the clear plastic piece, a little darker, but you can still see the silhouette of the man, and that's very nice. I think I preferred it where you can barely see him. With that being said, once again, I used the matte finish as a primer. I'll be using a variety of brushes today. Got my cup of water. And here's the four main paints I'll be using. I'll be using a texture by Citadel called Argarian, I have no idea, Badlands. A copper to give it a little rusty look. A silver. And the Abaddon Black. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so first I want to start with the guns. They're very plain looking right now, so I'm going to add some silver to them. Maybe a little bit of black. I don't know yet. We'll see what this comes out looking like. So I'm gonna just grab one of my thinner brushes. This is the starter brush that comes with the oh gosh, I can't think of its name. The Citadel starter pack. So just gonna go make sure my brush is nice and dry. Just barely any paint on it. Don't want a lot. And just a few taps here, there, just to give it some character, you know? Don't be symmetrical. That is the key. You don't want it to appear to have been intentionally rusted, you know? And we're just giving it a few little strikes. See? Gives it some character. And if you need a little more paint, go ahead, go back to your little palette. Now, I'm not using a palette today, but I do have one. Just figured a paper plate would suffice for today. And once you're satisfied with your random markings, oops, that one's a little too dark, but like I said, I want this to look very battle worn, like ancient technology battle worn. So I think that's good. Got enough markings there. Next, I'm going to do the same thing to the arms, because the arms look a little flat to me. So once again, I'm just striking, barely touching the model. Ooh, that one came out really cool. And I notice it's coming out a little darker than I want, so just keep striking until you make sure you go in different directions as well. That'll give it a little more randomness to the pieces. What else? I'm gonna basically be doing this to the entire model, just varying colors. Now, I didn't do it this time. Probably should have. I wanted to go with my drill and just tap it to give it some spots that look like it's really been worn down, you know. But I'll do it later. Right now I'm just going through, adding in some random lines. And there's no mistakes when it comes to this. As Bob Ross says, there's only happy accidents. It doesn't need to look perfect. We don't know what kind of battle he's been in, but it doesn't really matter. We just want him to look, ooh, that came out really cool looking. So there's some reference. I'm also going to do his jetpack, since it's right there. And I'm still using that same silver. And if you do go on too dark, just keep messing with that area until you find it satisfying. Don't worry, since we are dry brushing, you can always go back and just keep fiddling with the area until you got it nice and good, you know. And I need a little more paint, so I'm just going to go here. And make sure you get the nooks and crannies. You don't want part of it to look rusted and then part of it to look brand new. Unless, of course, you're trying to go for that effect, like it's been repaired or restored or something. Whatever your backstory is for the piece, that's all that really matters. Alright, I think he looks... I'm going to go a little more on his shoulder right here, because I missed quite a few spots, actually. And the shoulder here, give it a little bit back on the gun up here. We're just making it look nice and battle worn, you know? Now, as I said, I don't really like having nice, neat Gundams. But, you know, if you want it to look nice and pristine, you can always add shade instead. I'm not using the shade today, to give it a little shinier look, or even a, alright, so we're done with that part. I'm also going to touch up these wheels. I want these wheels to look dirty. So, just go in, touching it, just barely touching it, you know? Adding some color to it. Just barely anything. Not even really doing much. Just kind of throwing it around, because I am going to be adding the dirt to it. That's what the Badlands is for. I'm gonna go in and add texture to it, make it look like it's all muddied up in the wheels. So I'm not really doing much here. I'm just giving it a little bit of color, you know. Actually, I think my brush is dry. I'm not doing anything. Alright, let's try that again. There we go. Now I'm adding some effects. Uh-oh, my hands are starting to shake, but that's okay. Just adds to the randomness. Now, I do have anxiety problems, and that's what's causing my hands to shake. It's not anything serious. Alright, and with that, I think we're done with this phase. So, I'll start the next. Right, so now, I'm going to go ahead and clean that brush. I like this little brush. I think I'm going to keep using it. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to add some black. Now, the black I'm going to add to the guns as well, and the arms and the jetpack. And I'm even going to do the, now with the black, be very, very careful. You don't want too much. You want your brush very, very dry. And I'll show you why. It'll come out looking gray, but that's okay. We just, we want it to dirty the model. So, striking along, just random lines, making it look really grimy, you know. And be careful with the yellow, because it is a lighter color. So, because it's a lighter color, it'll come out very dark on it. And you just don't want too much, you know. Don't be shy with it. And I'll show you how to do rust in a second here. Especially on the white, be careful. I'm actually not going to do the glass because it's already got a dusty look from the matte finish. And I'm satisfied with it. So, keep in mind the only person you're trying to impress is yourself. You shouldn't be doing art for anyone but yourself. Unless, of course, you're doing it professionally, in which case you probably already know how to do all this. And even if you don't know how to do this, doesn't mean, ooh, that came out a little too dark, you see. But that's okay. Like I said, he's going to be severely battle worn. And I'm even going to do a trick with my drill once it's charged. And I want him to look dirty and grimy. That's why I got the black and the Agrat's earth shade. Oh, wait. My Agrat's earth shade isn't even on here. On my palette right now. And we're making him look really dirty. He's gone through quite a battle. And get those under spots, because dirt doesn't care, you know? It'll get everywhere. There we go. Alright, I think that's good for the arms. I'm going to stop because there is such thing as too much. Let me check the underside. Oh, yep. Gotta do the underside of these guns a little more. And remember, don't be symmetrical. We don't want symmetry here. We want the chaos of the battle to show. And I'll show you another neat trick with my sponge in a moment. Let me just move his arms around. I know I said I was done with the arms, but looking at it from this angle, there's some spots I want to touch up. And we're just gonna... Ooh, that came out really dark. See, I didn't dry my brush off enough. But that's fine. Ooh. See, it came out really dark. So I'm just going to keep going over it till it lightens up. Make sure maybe he got scarred there or something. I don't know. Not that it matters, but like I said, as long as you're okay with it, then that's all that matters. Alright, now I'm going to do the body again. And here, I'm just kind of boop, 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 boop. Being very random with the brush. Very random. Now with the dirt, I'm going to be a little less random with it. Because, well, I'll explain it when I get to it. But, I do have a story in mind for this guy. So I'm trying to stay true to his story. And that's how I like to paint. I like to paint based on the story of the character. If it's something that's like new and pristine and out of the factory, I like to give them a shiny finish instead of a matte finish. And I'll probably add very little detail to it. Maybe a little bit of a clear coat to give it an extra shine somewhere else. But nothing serious, you know. And as you see, I'm just really getting in there, making it look grimy. Now, I do plan on going back with some copper to give them some rust. We'll even add a little bit of something to the tracks, you know. Or just a little bit to the tracks, because the tracks I do plan on going back with the Badlands and adding some texture to it. But for right now, we'll just add some black. Get a little more color to it. Like I said, I don't like flat colors. I like dark, grimy looking things. Why? I'm not really sure. But I'm not sure that it matters that I'm not sure. Alright, and we're just gonna add in that color, that nasty looking black. So it's been worn down a little. And we're just striking it. Add in some more black. We are using a lot of black today. That's fine though. That's perfectly fine. And we're just trying to enjoy it. We're not doing anything special. Just trying to enjoy. You know, I paint to relax, so just like I built this to calm myself. I'm gonna add some silver to fix that black spot. But I think the track is done for now. So we're gonna go. I'm just gonna add some more black to the blue, because I don't like the blue being so shiny looking. So just a little dab. Oh, we'll get this red too. Remember, be random. Do not make symmetry. You do want it to be balanced, but not the same on each side. And what I mean by that is, since he's obviously been in some kind of explosion or something that caused him to get a lot of dirt on him, you want it to be all over him, but you don't want it to be evenly, the dirt's going to be all over him, but you don't want it to be the same pattern on each side. So that's where the randomness comes in. You don't want it to look nice and neat. I'm also doing the underside. The underside I would expect to be a little dirtier than the top side. So we're going to add in a lot more dirt lines than the top side. And remember, I'm also going to be going over with Agrax. Why do I keep saying Agrax Earthshade? That is not what I'm using today. I could use it, but that's not what I'm using. I'm actually going to go over with a shiny clear coat, a gloss coat, after I finish all this, maybe? I don't know yet. I don't know if I want the gloss coat or another matte finish to hold the paint. But I do know that this is coming out pretty good. Give it a little bit more dirt. Go back on the underside. As you can see, I'm just kind of being a little random. That's perfectly fine. That's exactly what we want, is to be a little random. Now, my big problem with painting is I tend to go too heavy on things, but that's fine. That is perfectly fine. As long as at the end of the day I can say I enjoyed it, you know? I'm gonna move these down, and I'm just gonna touch up on the sides here. I just realized I hadn't done anything to his helmet really, so I am just gonna add in some random dark smudges and whatnot, and I'm gonna try doing the same thing to his underside. There we go. I'd say that's good. Keep in mind that because I'm painting on white, I really want that brush to be dry. Don't want it too much, you know? I'll get the back of these guns as well. Haven't gotten them. And we're just about done with the black. Go through, add in some more darker smudges. Ooh, this looks clean and pristine. We don't want that. We want it to look dirty and grimy. I really like the grimy looks. Gives the figure some character. Especially when it's something you know that's not a strong character, like my Exia. I did not do this, even though it's seen a lot of battles. It's always been in that nice pristine shape, so I haven't really added it. But like my other ones, I generally tend to add some dirt and whatnot. Alright, so I think we're done with the black. I'm pretty satisfied with it. Looks very dirty and grimy. That's what I was going for. Oh, get a little spot there. See, that's why I moved the parts, is so I can see to make sure that I got every detail that I wanted. Now, keep in mind, if you do go too dark with the black, you can always go back and fix it with the silver, which is exactly what I'm going to do right now. So, got our little pot of silver. And I'm just going to go over those really dark squares with the silver to lighten it up, you know? Just enough to lighten it up. I don't want a lot. So, one spot that I noticed was right here. Where was it? Oh, right here. Yeah. It's not really coming out the way I thought it would. Try that again. There we go. Remember, be random. Don't be nice and even. This is just to clean up if you've got any really dark spots. Like right there. That is a really dark spot. So, just going to go in, be a little random with it, clean it up, and we are good. Alright, with that, oh, yep, want to do this area too. Be a little random with it, you know. Now, the reason why I'm using silver on this is to make the paint now look like it's fading. So, a little more on the brush than when you used the black, because you want it to really catch at those corners, you know. So, just really catch it at the corners. You want the corners to really look chipped. I'll probably have to go and buy more silver soon. I'm not too worried about the bottom. I do want the bottom to look like it's been worn down, but I'm not too worried about it. That's not the part that I'm going to be showing off, you know. So I'm just going in, really catching at the corners, making sure nothing's too bright. And this is probably the most fun part, because you're just beating the color onto it, you know? You're not sitting there all nice and neat like I would if I was trying to make it look new. But because I'm doing this, it comes out a little more random looking, and that's fine. Really get those edges so it pops, you know. If you want it to look battle worn, all you really need is to throw some color on there. You don't need anything special. You just gotta throw some color. Some darker colors, not the bright colors. If you throw bright colors on, you're gonna have the opposite effect. You're gonna make it look nice and shiny, factory new. You don't want that. You don't want that if you want it to look battle worn. Now, as you can tell, I've just been throwing these colors on. I'm not even being neat with it, you know. I'm gonna go ahead and do the sides now. Same way, I'm just gonna take some paint. Pow-pow. Bam. And just like that, I'm in a recording studio with the chieftains, as Brack would say. Ooh. Yeah. So I'm making this part look really torn down, you know. If you add too much color because you are dry brushing, you can just kind of scrape it away. That's fine. And I'm just going over it ever so lightly. Not trying to do too much, just enough. Just enough. And remember, you want those edges. You want those edges to pop, you know? And with that, I think we are just about done with the silver. Just going in and cleaning up some areas real quick. Making sure that everything's popping. Popping like a boss. I don't know. I'm just making up stuff now. Alright, with that, we're done with this piece. Well, not the piece. With the silver. So, next, we're gonna go into copper. Alright, so I'm just gonna clean off this brush, like so. And we're gonna do the same exact thing. Just except this time with the copper. So with the copper, actually, I'm pretty satisfied with this. So we're just gonna go straight to the earth shade. So I'm gonna clean off my brush. And I don't have a napkin. Let me go grab a napkin. Alright, I'm back with my napkin. Now for this, we need a scraper. And I don't have a scraper. Alright, that's fine. I'm going to use a pencil instead. Some of you are going like, what? A pencil? Actually, I'll use one that's sharpened. It'll give me a little more of a scoop. So, you want to shake up the texture real good. And remember, the thicker, it's a very goopy looking. That's fine. So I'm just going to take this big goop. There we go. And I'm just going to add it to the wheels, not the wheels, the track. Make it look look like it's gone through some mud, you know. This will crack and make it look dried. Now, if you do add too much, you can take it away, just like we did with the paint. Don't be shy with it. We want it to look dirty and muddied. I'm even going to add some mud into the bottom. Just like that. We want it to be muddy. Now, I know some of you are going, "You ruins it!" No! That's fine. As Bob Ross would say, this is our courage test. And for me, I think that's pretty good. Got a section of the track that's a little more muddied up than the rest. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Go ahead, pick up more that agra shade. Look, I'm throwing pieces of it all over the place. Yeah, we've been mudding lately. That's what happened. This Guntank went mudding after a serious battle. He needed to collect his thoughts, so he went mudding. I don't know. I'm making that up. Obviously, I'm making that up. I'm making the whole story up for the Guntank. But we'll just add a little more. Give me a little tip. Just the tip of it. And I think that's pretty good for the, oh, nope. Gotta get this bit here. And if you have some mud hanging off of the sides, that's perfectly fine. I'm also going to go and add some in the wheels areas. And what that'll do is it'll make it look like there's dirt in the tracks rather than on the tracks. And I'm not doing much, I'm just adding enough. And I'll give you a view of it in a second. So that's what I've done so far. Just added some mud to it, that's all. I'm even going to add some dirt to the top here. Give it some more yuck, you know? Some more yuck. I like that. I was using grime a lot. Now I might start using the word yuck. Because that's exactly what's going through my mind right now, is this is a lot of yuck. And because we're using a pencil, we can get into those spots that you probably couldn't get with a paintbrush, unless if it's a real small brush. I just added some yuck to my finger, apparently. Didn't do that on purpose. Really get in there, get that grimy stuff all in there. Yeah. Alright, so I've done that side. That's what it came out like. And now we're going to do the other side, because we want the wheels to be dirtied on both sides, not just one. Now, we do want different patterns on them, but we want them to be nice and dirtied. You know, we don't want this to be a clean Guntank. Get a little more Earthshade, or not, more Badlands. We're going to go in right here. Bam. I'm even going to do the wheels on this side. So I'll have to go back and add it to the other side. Now, what I like about using a pencil is when you start losing the amount of shade, it starts using gray instead from the pencil lead. So it's kind of an indicator when you need to go back and refuel your pencil. And I know some of you are like, oh my gosh, why is he using a pencil? But that's fine, because it comes out doing what I want it to do. And that's all that matters to me, is that it comes out doing what I want it to do. I'm going to add some dirt up here. I'm not going to add dirt higher on the model, because I don't want it to look like the entire thing has been submerged in mud. But I do want it to look muddied enough that it's clearly been in mud, you know, like the track. So I'm not adding a lot of mud above the tracks, you know. This is strictly for the bottom parts which have been exposed, and I'll probably go through, get a little bit less, and I'll just add a little bit here. Whoa, added too much, so I need to scrape some of that off. Dang it. Oh well. Like I said, we're just adding enough, just enough to make it visible that it's been in the mud. And with this, I think we've just about finished. I'll show you what it looks like in about an hour or two. Yeah, I think we're done. Just wiping off my pencil here. All of that comes pretty much straight off. And what I can do is I can try and remove some of that, but nah, it's not going to come. There is a spot I want to get, though, underneath it. Right here. And here. All right. That, I am just about done. Did I get these wheels? Yeah, I got those wheels, so I gotta do these wheels over here. And all I'm doing is throwing in some dirt, just about done here. I think if Bob Ross were making videos, he would love YouTube because he had 30 seasons, 30 great seasons. This is the finished product, but Bob Ross always ended off running out of time, and he would go overtime in quite a few of his videos. So I think he would have liked YouTube, seeing as there'd be no time limit. But we're finished here. So I'm just going to let this dry, and we'll call it a finished piece. Alright, thank you for joining us.